ReefDudes is sponsored by Ecotech Marine and Bulk Reef Supply.
So one of my tanks has a phosphate problem, so I just picked up the Sigma 1 reactor from AquaReady, so let's check it out. What's going on, guys? Devin from ReefDudes. Now today we are checking out the Sigma 1 reactor from AquaReady. And it was only $100, so I figured I'd check it out. Had removable top from the base, so it has some cool features, so hopefully it's good. So let's get it unboxed. So inside the box, we have a couple little filters inside. We have our little reactor. Now this is the smaller size. There was a larger one, the Sigma 2, that was, I believe it was $149. This guy was $99. And it has this cute little CJ pump in the bottom. So always solid. But the biggest sell for this for me was it has a detachable base, similar style to the Nios. So you could remove the tube without having to unplug wires, which is huge. And that, along with the fact there's a valve on top to adjust it, should make it really easy to fine tune it. Has a little shield along the side for waterfall design, and our pump attaches to the bottom. Now the front of the pump does have a little dial for min and max. So your main control is going to be on the pump, and then you'll have the fine-tuning one, how much it lets out at the top. So I'm going to use this for GFO, so I'm going to want low flow. So I'm going to turn all the way down to the min to start out. We will pop it onto the base, and that was about the easiest install ever. Now we do have a couple little feet on the bottom, which looks like it sucks to the edges here. Keeps in place, super duper easy. Now for me, one of the biggest features with this is removing it. So super duper easy. So you don't have to remove cords to take it out of your sump, which is big. Because you know how annoying it is to run your wires all pretty, then you have to take it apart to adjust something. So that's a pretty cool win. And on the top, looks like it uses an O-ring to hold it in place. So it's really easy to adjust. Open and close. So this thread lowers it down so less water can overflow out of it. So I guess it's not as fine-tuned adjustment, but you can control how much can suck out the top. Providing the pump on the bottom is enough, I think that will be the way to go. So pop this little plate in the bottom and our sponge on top. And it looks like this one will go in the top. So as we adjust this up and down, it's going to push the sponge higher or lower to restrict the flow a bit. And with this one, I am a fan of RoFos. I haven't used this in a while, but since the PO4 is so high, this is what we're going to run. So we'll pop this stuff in. So for my tank, I feel like that should be a good amount. Put the little sponge on the top. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to give it a quick rinse. It's always 50-50 on it really if you need to rinse this or not, but I like to do a little bit just for good measure. So one nice thing with this is it's super duper easy to rinse. I can just pour some water on the top and then drain out the bottom. Some of the ones where you have it, plumbed to a manifold or something, then you're going to have to worry about, replacing the tank water you take out. But this way I can just dump a little bit of RO in it and give it a super duper quick rinse, just to get a lot of the oranginess out before I put it into the tank. And once the water's running clear, you're ready to roll. So super duper easy. Pop the top on. We have the sponge on top, and that's going to prevent any fines from leaving the reactor, as well as just make sure it flows out evenly. So super duper cool. And if you want to restrict the flow, you just turn that and it pushes the sponge down and lets less water out. So super slick little design, and honestly for $100 I think it's a really cool reactor and a slick little solution. Now if you look at the little ring on the side, you can do your flow adjustments by how much lets in by spinning it. So there would be maximum flow, and if I turn it all the way to the right, it'd be minimum flow. So after playing with this for a little bit, I actually decided to push the sponge all the way down so that the RoFos doesn't really tumble or move as much. I find it doesn't really need to tumble as much like GFO does. It doesn't really clump and have that issue. So I did that, and I turned the flow basically as low as it could go on the bottom, just by on the pump for one, and then two by spinning this, so you can spin the whole tube to adjust higher or lower, which is really cool. So I basically have them in the lowest setting, and I think that's going to be just about right for running GFO in here. But yeah, overall super duper cool little reactor, the Sigma 1 for $100. I think it's a great value for a slick little reactor. Pop it out, really easy to maintain it. Don't have to pull out a wire every time, which is huge for me. And yeah, if you want one, there will be a link in the description, and picking up through that link supports the channel, so thank you in advance. And if you enjoyed this, as always, sure to hit that like button, and you make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.